Good morning. Oh my God. Like, this is such an early live for me. But yes, I am here on time. This is my review for The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 6 reunion, part 3. I apologize for the delay, y'all. It's basically because my work schedule yesterday was a little hectic. And I had time to film it, but I didn't feel like rushing. I didn't want to give y'all like a rushed review, especially because this is the last, episode of Salt Lake City for a while. And look, y'all know that I do not like to give half-ass shit. So yeah, we're gonna take our time on this recap. So yeah, with that said, however, I'm glad that this is over. First reason is like I had like five shows to recap. And I'm glad I have one that's like taking a break for a bit. So my recap should be on time next week. And then two, I just feel like this season, it was all right. It was all right. It was just unfortunately after the whole yacht below deck crossover, the season just kind of like went down. I don't know. Like the Greece trip was just all right. And then that plane drama kind of like just took over the season. So yeah. Um they definitely need to like well, I'll get into what this franchise needs to do at the very end. Yeah, it's really given that. It's given that. Good morning. Good morning. Oh gosh. It took me forever to like just get out of bed. I'm like, let me just down this Red Bull, throw on this little hoodie. I'm not wearing pants. I'm sorry. I might get right back in bed because I have pop roast at noon. So make sure y'all see that. Oh, more announcements, y'all. So I have pop roast today with Alex. That's going to be at noon. And then around 3 o'clock, I'm going to be doing traders. Like, look, I cannot wait to talk about traders. Anyway, so make sure y'all stick around for that. You're going to see me 3 times today. So right now, and then 12 o'clock, go to Alexander Rogers' channel. We'll be on Pop Roast. And then if you still feel like seeing this face, I'll be on again on my platform at 3 o'clock. All right, so let's get into this. Uh, uh. You know what? If I could hit the notes to good morning, good morning, good morning. I can't do it. Can't do it. It's too early. Anyway, so we left off on the cliffhanger of Meredith basically calling Brittany a bigot. And she walks off stage sobbing. Like, stop calling me a victim. I am not a victim. I'm not kidding. Leave me alone. And then she just walks off stage. Andy asked Meredith if she took the post down, didn't she make it right? Because Meredith, conveniently left out that that was her nail technician. And once she found out, that he was a bigot, she stopped using him. So why didn't you extend that same grace to Brittany? Anywho, um, where was I? So Meredith says she questioned it and was berated by the public before Brittany took it down. I guess that was the difference. But everyone on stage is just confused as Meredith really thinks Brittany targeted her for her religion. And notice by this time, she still has not answered the question about did she have a drink before takeoff, which I think was the whole point. Like, if you would go that far to imply someone is a bigot just so you don't have to answer a question, it's just like, what else would you do? There's a lot of dangerous white women on this show. Like Heather, I mean, and then Meredith, like, I don't know. Anyway, so Andy then gently tells Meredith, maybe she just don't like you. And that's kind of how I felt. I was just like, maybe Brittany just don't like you. Oh, thank you. How did you find me? I thought it was very low of Meredith. Like, I don't know, when you weaponize something like that, it's just, I look at you funny. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will be back at 3 o'clock with popcorn. Is that okay, Chris? I mean, look, long as you came in and you liked the video and maybe subscribe, like Salt Lake City ain't everybody's stilo, and same thing goes for Beverly Hills, but it's interesting to me. And I feel like if I at least find it interesting, I can make it interesting for you. I am delirious, y'all. I think I'm still a little tired. I am white knuckling this, and yeah, cheer me on and hype me up. Anyway, so thank goodness Andy pivots back to the plane, like, because I want to get back to that. Like, get the answer. Was she drinking or not? And he talks about Mary and Meredith's conversation, because it seemed like Mary didn't come at her crazy. She was just like, girl, this is what happened. I have no reason to lie about this. It happened the entire time, Meredith. No. Remember that? So Meredith is acting confused, and as Mary is breaking down what happened, we see Brittany come back on stage, interrupts them. Meredith, and apologizes, like, I'm sorry. And then I think she's like, shut up. And then says, after that, I'm done. Like, it was so awkward, I think, like, and I also think that no one like wants to revisit this conversation. They all want to move on for obvious reasons. So thankfully Mary finishes her thought. Andy asks again, did Meredith have a drink? And she said, I had one in the lobby. In the lounge. I had one drink in the lounge. One with what? With what? I don't know. Anyway, Andy then says, it's confusing to the viewers, though, that you can't remember it. And then Meredith, all of a sudden, she's like, I never said that. Like, she goes talking into these semantics that she's known for, and it's making my ass itch. Like, at that point, I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore. And I'm sorry, y'all. It's just like, by that point, I was just like, you know what? We're not going to get anything out of this broad. We're not. So can we just move on? That was my frustration. So I apologize if, like, I don't feel like deep diving into her response. I just don't give a fuck. Anyway, Lisa then interrupts and makes the conversation about her to get her buddy Meredith out of the hot seat. So then, Lisa, she starts activating those tears. She starts crying and says, I felt so alone on the boat, after Heather accused her of being the leak. So then Lisa is screaming, and you hear Mary say, relax, babe. It's not that serious. There was something funny about that, because it's really not. It's really not that deep. And then moving on, we get to Meredith handing out drug tests. She doubles down to Andy and says, she's ready to take one now. Like, she even brought a drug test with her. Meredith is just one loony bird, isn't she? just loony. Whitney then explains why she called Meredith a pill popper and an alcoholic. And it was basically because Meredith kept calling her a liar. She's like, okay, bitch, you want to call me a liar? I'm going to call you a pill popper. Alcoholic. So then, speaking of pill popping, Meredith tries to imply that Heather and Whitney are the ones handing out pills and taking them. So then Heather, she turns it around, flip it and reverse it, and says, what pills? Because I've given you a lot of pills during our friendship, Meredith. So now it's a back and forth, and Whitney then gets back to the point of just apologizing to Meredith about what she called her. Whew. So then Andy then asks Meredith, is there any accountability that you want to take from what transpired on the plane? She gives the same script and that she said on the show, and Andy pointed out, I was like, okay, yeah, just checking. So we're not going to get any new information from Meredith or any type of new accountability. First time catching a live. I am very happy. You have 2 more times to do it too. I'll be back on Alexander Rogers' channel at noon for Pop Roast. And then you can come back and watch, my recap of Traders, because we got to break down that episode. The best episode of the season. I think this was one of my least favorite modern day reunions ever. I adore Meredith and always have, but this reunion was a bad look for her. Definitely gave she's getting demoted or something next year. I hope so. Totally hope so. And, from watching Salt Lake City, from the very beginning, like season 4 started out like okay. And then from that, from the later part of the season to the finale to the reunion, that was like flawless. I think their finale was like one of the best finales in Housewives history. And then we go into season 4, Brahman's first season. Can I just tell y'all, season 4 of Salt Lake City, perfection. And then the reunion was kind of a letdown, but that season, that is like a level of like Housewives of Atlanta perfect season. Like almost season 6 good. But yeah, anyway, let me know if y'all agree. Like season 4 of Salt Lake City, that was a flawless season. That was the part where we had, are you recording us? So yeah. Anyway, where was I? I always run off on these tangents, and that's why I wanted to do this morning, because I would probably already be at the latter half of the episode by now if it was yesterday. So before they move on from the plane, Angie wants to say something, before they, go off of this topic. So she says, if it was her who Meredith berated, the air marshal would have been at the gate waiting for them. And the thing is, to just bring up a happenstance or like a hypothetical, Angie, I just thought, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for relevancy at this reunion. She didn't really have to say that. Like, why are we bringing up a hypothetical? Like, it didn't happen. And we'll get into that a little bit later, because we go back to a hypothetical, I think later on when they get to Meredith versus Bronwyn. No, Monica's season, oh, I'm so sorry. Season 5. Thank you. Season 4 was the perfect, like later half of the season to the finale. Season 4's finale was one of the best finales of all time. Season 5, thank you for correcting me. So yeah, season 5, Brahman's first season, that was like a flawless season. And I see why they brought everybody back. But now it's like this particular season, it started off great. But then after the Below Deck crossover, that's when it kind of like, descended. It's so early. It's 6 a.m. in Cali, but I am up. You are up, and I am glad you are joining me. Look, if it wasn't for this Red Bull, oof. Anyway, thank you, Riri, for correcting me. Season 5 is a flawless Salt Lake City season. So yes. So the next segment is dedicated to what's going on in the women's lives separately. Before that, Andy gives all the women their flowers as a cast. It was really nice, because I believe there is something about this cast. And like I said, we saw that in season 5. Like, they're just very authentic, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. Kind of like how with the golden years of the Real Housewives of New York, where it was like, this is how these women are in real life. They are kooky. And I'm like, look at Mary. Like, I think she was just being her authentic, wacky self, and people fell in love with that. I mean, once she stopped being a bigot, when she came back for season 4. But yeah, so Whitney is first giving an update about her business and relating to in her relationship with Justin. She's very emotional discussing him. And during this, Mary actually falls asleep as Whitney's talking. And lowest of keys, I don't blame her. I don't blame her. I was kind of checked out too when she started going into her and Justin's relationship, because I mean, we saw like little glimpses of it on the show, but I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of this stuff is like off camera that she's been feeling. But yeah, Whitney continues saying they bounced back from a lot in their marriage, because there was a lot of rumors that they were getting divorced. So then Meredith talks about her boring children, blah, blah, blah. Heather is happy about finally being an empty nester. And Angie's talking about pushing, being Greek on her daughter. We get to Brittany. She says her relationship with her daughters are better. Lisa's then asked about that scene where John finally stood up to her on camera, at least. And from her talking about it, it seems like she learned nothing from that scene. And now she's crying again while everyone is trying to tell her that this was a constructive conversation. Like, maybe you don't listen to your husband. But yeah, like, Mary's trying to give her opinion, and Lisa's telling everybody she don't need help. She don't need help with her feelings. Like, this is what makes Lisa so annoying. So annoying. Like, she just wants to hear herself talk and feel bad for herself. And she just wants people to like kind of comfort her without giving her like any suggestions. Like, it's hard having that type of friend where they don't want to listen to anything outside. They want a yes person. And Lisa is definitely that type of friend who like really alpha, and she just wants yes people. But yeah, we can move on. So now that they got everybody else out the way, next up is Bronwyn's reel. And I believe this is the whole reason that she got first chair. So I think that she was close to tears this entire like segment. So first up, it's how the viewers reacted to her mom, Muzzy. Because her first appearance, Bronwyn says, her mom came to her and recognized, like, this is how I speak to you. And then the second appearance, which I think was like Muzzy at full force, she said the viewers did not hold back. And she was just like, there were memes and jokes at her expense. Look, I tried. I tried being as respectful as I could. I did not call Muzzy out her name, I believe, but I was just critiquing what I saw. And Brown was just like, yeah, she's seeing all this. And at the same time, that's still her mom. That's still her mom. And I do believe, like, if I brought cameras home with me and one of my mom's conversations, I'm not going to say that it was on a Muzzy level, but y'all would be like, why is Chris mom talking to him like that? Or did Chris mom just shade him like this? Why does Chris mom keep shading him? My mom shades me so much, and I just take it on the chin. I really do. So yeah, I totally get like, y'all, chill out. That's still my mom. That's still my mom. So I understand how Bronwyn feels, but I mean, y'all saw how Muzzy was on the show. And then she feels like her mom thinks that it's a little bit of Bronwyn's fault because of this backlash. I mean, which that sucks, but don't be a bad person. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. So yeah, maybe Muzzy was just honestly being herself. Yes, thank you for that parallel. Yeah, because that's my mama. That's my mom. Y'all can tweet and say whatever you want, but that's my mama. She can have whatever she wants because that's my mama. Totally get it. My mom and stepdad are always shading me. So now we get to the Todd conversation. And then this is where Bronwyn drops the bomb that she and Todd are currently separated. And I feel like by the time we all saw this, like it's already part 3. It's been like maybe a month we've known this information, like before this scene aired. And that's kind of like when the bomb dropped. So seeing this, like, I don't know, like we already weren't surprised by this, but it took a lot of the impact of the surprise because I already knew that like she was going to announce her separation on here. Like they could have kept it a secret until, till we saw it. Let's see. So afterwards, she says that Todd watched the entire Salt Lake City franchise and he read the Reddit comments and went through social media. And I'm just like, so he really had no idea what people were saying about him for 2 seasons at all. He just shielded himself. Very interesting. So currently, Bronwyn says that she is in Utah while Todd is in New York. As y'all know, they do film the reunions for Salt Lake City in New York. And she says she does not plan on seeing him. Whitney is very emotional and says she can relate. And she just starts breaking down to the point where she has to leave the stage. Can I have a minute? And she just goes to the back. Like, at this point, I mean, I didn't, not believe Whitney's feelings, but at this point, I was like, oh, she is working for that snowflake, to keep that snowflake. They follow her to the back and she cries in her husband's arms. He's telling her, we're going to be good. We're going to be good. So it's just like, it's very heavy on stage right now. Andy asks, does she think the show broke up their marriage? And she says no, but it definitely magnified their issues. Yeah, that's what I think sometimes. Like, if a marriage is already going through something, like going on the show will just kind of magnify it and kind of move you along quicker to a divorce, instead of like if y'all weren't on the show, it will probably take a little bit longer for y'all to get like separated. Yeah, she was definitely working for like a daytime Emmy. I wouldn't say Oscar, maybe like a daytime Emmy, like a guest Emmy role. So yeah, Whitney's back on stage and she is giving it her all. Like, I don't think she's acting, but like she was giving us a moment right there. Brahman says she doesn't know what's in her future. And I'm thinking, do y'all really think that her and Todd are going to divorce? I was talking to Taria. I did her show yesterday. Make sure you go follow her and watch the show. It's on the What Else Is Going On podcast. We were talking about Salt Lake City, and she said that I don't think they divorcing. Like, watch, they're going to get back together, but we'll see. Like, I think, Brahman didn't file. They're just separated, correct? Anyway, so it's the end of Bronwyn's segment, and now they are talking about the Greece trip. Heather makes it known that she and Meredith are not friends present day. And at least Meredith owns that she called Heather a liar during that colonial event that Brahman hosted. She says she meant to say that Brittany and Whitney were liars. But at this point, I'm just so tired of Meredith's semantics, because I feel like that is the one thing that she uses from her background as a lawyer. Like, just talking in semantics, trying to gaslight people. So then, speaking of that, we get to Meredith on the trip where she was holding that little tantrum about missing her kids. And then they all agree, like, except for Lisa, saying that we all agreed beforehand that this was Mother's Day. This was not a shock to anybody. Like we're all moms, ma'am. So we get what they're going through, but we're not making this big deal about it because we all agree that this was on Mother's Day, right? And they call her out because like, why are you on your phone right now? Like as they're talking in the scene or something like that, just so you can deflect. And I do think that Meredith is one of the best deflectors in the Housewives universe. So yeah, Brahman then mentions it irritated her, and Meredith is now saying that there was something else that was bugging her that day. And she's hesitant to say it, but Andy confirms, like, you were upset with production. And he was like, well, what was it this time? You caught that? Andy is shady, so shady. Which means there's been several instances that Meredith has had problems with production. So now, once Andy kind of like throws shade, like she wants to backpedal and move on. But Whitney's like, hold up. I have a problem with this. I was like, yes, Whitney, call it out. She calls out Meredith for blaming production several times during the reunion. And production, look, they show us like a few flashbacks of Meredith during the reunion calling out production 3 times. So Whitney, she is going in. And I think she may have saved her job sticking up for production. Like she calls Meredith, like, you're a liar, and tells her to stop trying to throw our team under the bus. And then Mary, she starts crying. Like, I just don't like it. I don't like it when she does it to our team. They're our team. I wasn't aware that the ladies had this relationship with production, but I guess some of those people have been with them like since the very beginning. So I get it that like they're probably like behind the scenes like a family, So let me see. Oh, but yeah, I love that like majority of the ladies were calling her out, trying to blame production. And again, I don't want Meredith to come back. Like, put her on pause, demote her, please. Like, her like scenes by herself are like not great, and the only time she's good is when she starts to like short circuit, like that. But you can honestly just put her in a friend role. Like, give Lisa a friend. That's it. But yeah. Meredith is asked about her reaction to Whitney, Brahman, and Mary's lunch. Now, I will say though, whatever Brahman says, like, I didn't make that accusation. You implied it, ma'am. You implied it because you didn't even have to bring like what's Meredith's husband's name? Seth. You didn't have to bring Seth up. Because like you're like, oh well, I saw him with another woman. I didn't want to like, but you're putting it out there. You're putting it out there. So yeah, but Bronwyn, what she did in this particular instance, because I thought Meredith kind of had a point. Like, y'all are basically in this conversation implying a lot of things about my life. But Bronwyn masterfully switches the argument to a hypothetical situation. She was like, well, actually, I was just trying to talk about it in the sense, whereas like if that was Todd and y'all saw him with a woman, then it would automatically be seen as an affair and I wouldn't get the benefit of the doubt. So I'm like, how did we get here? We're talking about what actually happened, Bronwyn, but Brahman is good too. Like she's good at, flipping it around, and she starts eating Meredith up, and Lisa is quiet. She's saying Meredith has never defended her when it came to her marriage, and your friend over here, you've never stuck up for me. But when we talk about your marriage, you want everybody to like come to your aid and stuff like that, like when it came to Brittany. So she does have a point, but look how she got out of that. So Brahma then calls out Meredith for using her to get back at the other ladies. And of course, Meredith denies this. She then calls out Meredith for always trying to skirt around having the difficult conversations on camera. Like, and again, Brahman is cooking. Because there's multiple instances where Meredith wants to talk one-on-one off camera. So then when they talk about it on camera, Meredith will be like, well, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Like, are you sure? And it's like, yeah, like it's not filmed. So now basically it's Heather's word against Meredith or Brahman's word against Meredith. And it's like, again, why I didn't like the first part of part 2 of this reunion, because it was basically a bunch of he said, she said. It was no tangible evidence where the audience can make their decision on. It's just basically like, oh, okay, well, I guess this person is telling the truth because I like them more. Yes, sneaky Meredith. Do y'all understand what I'm saying, though? Do y'all agree? Let me know in the chat. So then, yeah, Brahman, like, what makes you special? Like, we all do it. So then we get to their secret meeting where, Meredith allegedly asked her, like, about the lunch. And it's sketchy because we don't know, like, what was said. Yes, that's why they need the airplane footage. I believe Bronwyn, Meredith, a lawyer, she knows what the hell she's doing. Yes. Now looking at Bronwyn makes my eyes blurry. Anyway, so Meredith is now being whacked about the rumors she spread about Brittany being an alcoholic to Lisa. And I'm just like, yeah, Meredith, like you didn't like it when Whitney implied all this shit about you on the plane, but yet you're gossiping about Brittany being an alcoholic to Lisa. So yeah, like so anyway, Meredith, I think, is just trying to appease Brahman at this point by just apologizing to her for making her feel used, because Brahman definitely had Meredith in a corner in that little segment right there. So then Andy moves on to the iconic Greek tragedy play. Like he's talking about the women's reactions and then talks about Lisa and Angie. Like, where is their relationship currently? Now, at first, when Lisa was like, giving Angie all these compliments and her flowers, I thought this was going in like a positive direction, but she basically went in to say that, I love Angie. We talk about all this different stuff, but then she gets into what she's frustrated about, which is at the Us Weekly shoot. I think it was Us Weekly. I can't remember, or People. Correct me in the chat. But she said they asked me about Angie, and I didn't say a word about her. I said Angie is off limits. But when I see that they asked Angie about me, like she's saying all this shit. So that's what she's basically frustrated about. She's like, every time I put my sword down, here comes Angie, and I see her throwing daggers at me, and their fight starts all over again. And I feel like the two, like Angie and Lisa, like they always just want to get their lick back. So their feud can come off endless. I mean, I remember y'all saw that episode. I can't remember which one it was. Who was hosting that trip? I think it was Whitney when she brought the medium, and then they were outside having a little wine thing, like where it was going on and on and on. But yeah, they both then agree that they are not going to go backwards. Like their feuds have been done to death. There's no reason that they need to go back. So here's my thing with that. I think Angie, her problem is she needs an adversary in order to be activated. And that's why, she got sent a snowflake this season. But I mean, come on, high body count hair. Like, I feel like her fight with Lisa, though, has run its course. Like, it can't go anywhere. Like, they're going to be saying the same shit. And I feel the same way with Brittany and Angie. Like, Angie needs a different adversary. Like, so I think they should keep Angie on the show, but give her someone else to feud with. then you would get the most out of Angie. But Angie going back with Lisa, like that back and forth, I don't want to see that no more. And I also don't want to see her going at Brittany either. So now they're moving on to final thoughts. And I'm like, is that all what happened in Greece? I guess not that much. That's the Greece trip. They're done with that. So now we're moving to the end, y'all. And production lets us know they have been there for 12 hours. Do y'all know how long that is to just be talking on the couch? And they probably had maybe 2 breaks, maybe 3, like a quick bathroom break, a long lunch break, another bathroom break. I'm like, you know what? I feel like 4 hours is just glam. Like they get there at 6 a.m. probably for glam. I don't think they're on that stage for hours. I think they're probably on the stage for, I want to say 5 hours maybe. And then maybe 4 hours of it is glam. If somebody knows, like to break down the production schedule, because a lot has to be left on the cutting room floor. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I really hate when they do this round the room. Well, what did you learn this season, class? Let's go around. Mary? Oh, I just learned, that loving oneself is only how you can make it. Like, I don't want to hear this bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not covering that. I'm sorry. Y'all can watch that. Don't be mad at me. But yes, they do a toast with some food. I didn't catch what it was. And that is where the reunion ends. Like, that is the season, y'all. I would say my season score, it would be, I'm being generous. I give it like a 7 out of 10 for the season. Like, because definitely they started hot. They started hot with that RV trip. It was wacky. And then all the way up until they got on that damn boat, the crossover. But then just after the plane incident, I think right after Mary's brunch, remember that they had in season 1 when Mary gave everybody Louis Vuitton in the first season. I think that after that episode is when it started to go down. So yeah, my reunion score, I did not like the reunion collectively. I would say maybe a 5.5 out of 10. It was okay. And the reason why it took me so long to get to this review is because I was just like, I don't want to watch this a second time. Like I wish like just my first time watching it, like I could have just took my notes. But yeah, I give the season a 7, and I give the reunions part 1, 2, and 3 maybe like a 5.5. Like there were some moments. Did you think Meredith threatened to sue? Maybe that's why they didn't show the footage on the plane. I don't know. Like that's her actions. I don't think they could sue. I just think no one like genuinely put out their phones, I think. Are you going to review the Below Deck episode? I don't think so. I think I just want to watch it. But yeah, I just want to watch it. I don't think it makes sense to review. Do I think there needs to be some cast changes? I absolutely think they need to change the cast up. Like, I feel like seasons 4 and 5, 4, 5, and 6, like we got all we can get out of these women. So now, like, definitely I want Meredith off the show. I think Whitney is expendable. Like, I really feel like they have some other dynamic women in Salt Lake City. They have to. And I think Lisa needs another ally. She needs another ally. I think they could keep Whitney in a friend role, but I just don't think we need Meredith. Meredith may be like a guest role like Charisse on Potomac, but I don't want Meredith to be full-time anymore. Brittany, up in the air. Don't make her full-time. Do not. That would be just such a terrible mistake. Like, she needs like a Marlo role. Like she's like I want to say kind of like the whipping boy, but still like the comic relief. Leave her in that space, because if you make her like a full time cast member, I don't want to see her love story with the Osmond. Anyway, I wish Luann and Sonia could film a season on Salt Lake City. Well, I mean, you heard the New York news, so I'm excited about that. They're like, look, Bravo trying to be PC with Ramona, and you got Netflix right here showing all these MAGA bitches. Oh, we're gonna use Ramona, and like you're gonna laugh at her again. And Lowest of Keys, look, I'll probably be watching. I don't care if Ramona's on there or not. Like, you are a clown. That don't mean I'm gonna be a fan of yours. We're going to be talking about that on Pop Bro, so make sure you tune in. So what's going to be after Salt Lake City? I think they're definitely going to replace it with Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I think that's definitely coming. It's going to take the Salt Lake City spot. I think I'll be recapping it. I think I'll recap it, give it a chance. And if I don't like it, I really think I'm gonna like it though. I'll drop it by the mid-season, and But yeah, that's a wrap on Salt Lake City season 6, y'all. Like, I'm so glad that y'all went on this journey with me. This was like what? How many episodes? I want to say like it's been 18 weeks at least. So yeah, I guess, hopefully the ladies come back a better cast for season 7. And yeah, I will be back around noon on Alexander Rogers' channel. So I will see y'all then. With that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.